TheorySabers.com. Hey guys, and welcome to episode 3's breakdown of the Skeleton Crew. This episode was, I would say, a lot more lore-filled. It was pretty cool how they tried to connect to parts of the Old Republic or create new stories, and it kind of led to a lot of the thoughts that we had from the first 2 episodes. So let's get right into it. We got a lot to discuss, and let's have some fun. So far, I'm still enjoying the show. I think it's very lighthearted, and I can assume that kids all around the world love this show. The episode starts with the parents all getting together and worrying about their kids. The droid walks in, this is like some safety droid, and says the planet's supervisor can't do anything because they are in a starship that has illegally exited the barrier. And because it's outside of the barrier, they can't do anything. Now, the reason for this barrier is, I believe, because this planet, as we learned, and here are some spoilers, that this planet is from the Old Republic, and it's actually a treasure planet. And it's now just some sort of a myth around the galaxy that doesn't exist. It's merely just sort of in tall tales. But it's essentially just a planet full of credits and gold and treasure, which would make it a huge target for pirates and anyone looking to loot the planet and, cause havoc. So it's gone beyond that barrier, and I think the barrier is some sort of invisibility cloak, kind of like in Harry Potter, where nobody can really see them or find them, perhaps. I guess we'll learn more about it. As we pick back up with the kids, they escaped the brig, the jail cell, with Jude Law's character, who is Jod Na Nawood, who appears to be force sensitive. Now, the kids think that he's a Jedi, with some of them being skeptical. However, I don't think he is. I think he's just got the ability to use the Force, but never ever learned from any Jedi whatsoever. He just figured out some stuff by living his life with a stronger connection to the Force, or the other option, which is that he's able to manipulate objects with some trickery or device hidden in his sleeve. After all, he is a pirate, and I don't trust him. Now, if he is a Force user, it's kind of a cool concept, seeing as how George said that everyone has some ability with the Force, some aspect of the Force in them. Some just might not be very good at it, even if they train as hard as some of the Jedi Masters, whereas others, like Anakin, could always kind of use the Force without even knowing it. It just depends how gifted you are and your potential limit in your training. So this guy could have some Force abilities that he learned or unlocked through his life, but he never actually trained or developed them. Anyways, they get to the wreck of the ship, and the kids say that they need Smee, which is the droid. He says no, but they insist and claim if that he is truly a Jedi, as he says, that he should go back and get him. So he obliges, and the reason for this is because he's just working them. He's trying to buy their trust, their faith in him, that eventually they will take him to At-Aten, and then he will get a huge amount of money and reward. So this is all just, a money thing for him. He's scamming them. As Jod heads back to the hangar to get Smee, we come across a B-1 battle droid from the Clone Wars and also a early Ralph McQuarrie designed droid, CZ-3, who was also in A New Hope. Jod finds Smee, and he's greeted by one of his old crewmates, Benjar Pranic, who listens as Jod tells him that he's found the big score that he always spoke of. Now, he's trying to just kind of clean his tarnished record of leading them to empty treasure all the time. The kids discuss if he's a Jedi or not, and Fern is smart enough to doubt him, saying that he's not a Jedi. I like that the kids are so different from one another. One is just a starry-eyed, dream-filled kid, whereas the other one is much more pragmatic and maybe even negative. Anyways, long story short, they make a huge scene as they crash out of there and they head into hyperspace, but not before Brutus the Wolf sees them leaving and he sends men after him. So clearly this is going to be some sort of they're going to be on his tail and they're going to try and get the kids, and most likely Jod's going to be hit with some moral dilemma to save the children or to give them up and reap his reward for At-Aten. Now in hyperspace, they all, including Smee, discuss At-Aten, which seems to be a treasure-hidden world that's probably a myth. At this point in the story, we don't really know exactly what it is until later. The kids discuss how their parents are all analysts, and then they question, what are they actually analyzing? When they realize it's probably money, which they actually said the word money. I feel like they should have said the word credits. KB doesn't believe Jod is a Jedi, so he turns off the lights with a motion of his finger using the Force, it seems. And I really believe that this guy has just some electronic manipulator in his pocket or something. They arrive on Jod's friend's planet, which is a moon, and they land far away to hide the ship. So clearly him and his friend Kim do not trust each other, which we see why in a minute. They get there to meet the owl lady. She calls Jod Crimson Jack, which kind of makes me wonder if he's affiliated some way with Crimson Dawn, who was of course Darth Maul's gang squad. She tries to help them find At-Aten. She tells them the planet, At-Aten, was hidden from the galaxy and it was actually a planet from the Old Republic, a treasure trove, a planet where literal credits were stored, essentially. Treasure beyond your wildest dreams. She says long ago all these planets were destroyed except for one, At-Aten. This is why no one can find it and why pirates laugh. They think it's just some fairy tale. I bet you so many pirates have gone lost or mad or died in pursuit of finding this lost treasure. Kim stalls. She doesn't like Jod and she wants to save the kids, where she just buys time until the X-Wings arrive, which she catches onto, and she tells the kids that he's just trying to get their treasure. The X-Wings come, they all get out of there, but not before taking the coordinates to At-Aten that Kim had created on the computer. Which kind of makes me curious as to why she'd actually even be getting the coordinates if she's just buying time. But then I thought, okay, well, it's probably to get the kids back home once the X-Wings do come there and arrest Jack, aka Jod. The kids hold him from entering the ship, threatening to get the X-Wings to arrest him, with Smee backing them up, which is why he didn't just push past the kids. He claims to not be a Jedi, or that he didn't really say that he was a Jedi, and they all agree to work together with the kids in charge and Smee backing them. He hopes to get a reward for returning them back home. Now, as I said, I think this will be very difficult for them since the antagonist is Brutus and the gang that are after him, and the kids. I assume that he'll fall into some mortal dilemma, like I mentioned, where he'll save the kids over making a big amount of money and redeem himself. Maybe even ending up with Fern's mom. I could see that happening and him kind of being like, well, I have everything I need. It's just some sort of a mushy moment or whatever. Who knows? The X-Wings disengage and land near Kim the Owl, saying it's too dangerous with the kids on board, so they can't shoot it down. And she is about to tell him where they're headed, but she says that he won't even believe it. So clearly this planet is some huge mystery. The galaxy thinks that it is just some sort of folk tale. Doesn't really exist, and it's your typical pirate, mystery treasure hunt kind of story, set in a Star Wars themed somewhat universe. So far, I don't really get that many vibes of Star Wars. I mean, we do have the words Jedi and, like copyrighted terms thrown around here and there, X-Wing, Jedi, the Force. But besides that, it's just some sort of a fun, lighthearted kids story set in space with pirates and treasure. And to that, I see no problem with it. I think it's pretty fun. I'm really enjoying myself so far. I'm actually looking forward to doing the watch parties every week, these last 2 weeks at least. And I'm pretty relaxed at the fact that there isn't anything destroying the lore or hurting Star Wars in some sort of a way like they've done in the past with the Acolyte and, Boba Fett and all this and that. So it's kind of refreshing in that sense where it's like, okay, nothing's getting hurt. And it's just like a fun, lighthearted story that I'm actually really enjoying. So I want to know what you guys think. It's always a great time hanging with you guys. And it's even better when we do get good Star Wars. Now, I don't think I can go that far and say this is good Star Wars because it doesn't totally reek of Star Wars just yet. But maybe there will be some surprises coming soon. Hope you all enjoyed this breakdown. Let me know what some of the parts are that you thought were the most fun of this episode or that had the most questions for you for next week. Personally, I think this show would do better by releasing 2 episodes a week, but I understand that Disney Plus wants to make their money by creating a sort of drip feed method where you are constantly subscribed to prolong that subscription time. This show ends in mid-January, and so I'm wondering what they're going to release after this for Star Wars, probably sometime in the spring. Have a great day, everyone, and may the Force be with you always.